that video and playing it for my mom. She'd be very proud. First time Desperate Housewives aired, I said, "Mom, what do you think?" She said, "You were in it a lot." I was like, "Yes, it's our show." I'm so honored. Thank you so much. I'm really, really flattered to accept this award, especially from MALDEF, which is an organization that I've worked with for many, many years. And to stand here and actually receive one of these awards at these dinners I've attended for almost 10 years is really amazing. I want to thank Tom Sines. Thank you so much. I've known Tom for many years, and I really can't think of a better person to be leading MALDEF. An amazing human being, and I can't think of a better leader to carry out MALDEF's mission, which is promoting equality and justice through litigation. And Tom and I have been friends for a long time, and I've listened over and over to his speeches on immigration, whether it's on NPR or Tavis Smiley, and he's an amazing speaker, and I am just honored to call him a friend. So many people, I can't breathe because my dress is too tight. Let me stop sucking. I ate too much. Many people ask me where I get my philanthropic spirit and why I work with so many organizations or where I find the time to work for so many charities. And the only answer I know is it's the only way I know. And I was really fortunate growing up to have a sister with special needs and mental disabilities, and I was very fortunate to have a mother who dedicated her life to this community by being a special education teacher for 25 years. I was extremely fortunate to have an aunt, my Aunt Elsa, who dragged me down to the soup kitchen every Christmas to feed the homeless, and Goodwill to donate our clothes, and the Senior Citizen Center to volunteer. I thought volunteer was a job. I thought that was my job when I was young. And I was just lucky. I was very lucky to have grown up in a very selfless family that embraced the responsibility of public service and the responsibility of giving back. And along the way, I have had many guardian angels in my life that have molded me into the philanthropist that I am. The first one being David Damien Figueroa. David taught me so much. He told me, and I'll never forget, he said, "Hermana, one day you're going to have a voice, so be sure you have something to say." And he taught me about grassroots organizations and about fundraising and about event planning. And he also introduced me to many of my icons today. He's the one that introduced me to the iconic Dolores Huerta, who's one of our last living civil rights icons, who was part of a movement that we can recreate in the future. But she introduced me, Dolores introduced me to the world of farm workers. And it is because of her and people like Cesar Chavez and Arturo Rodriguez, who runs the Cesar Chavez Foundation now, that inspired me to produce a documentary called Harvest, which follows the plight of child farm workers through a harvest. And many of you in this room know that migrant workers, and a lot of them children, continue to be invisible and are caught up in a system that they are powerless to change. And that is why I chose to lend my voice to this particular issue, so that I can show the American people that every year hundreds of thousands of kids set off on a journey to across the United States, over 38 states, to pick the food that we eat. And 25% of the food we eat is picked by a child. And often the people who feed the most well-fed nation in the world go to bed hungry. And I couldn't stand by and think that everybody in the world doesn't know this incredible injustice. So hopefully when Harvest is completed, it will be able to be a political tool to change the ways of the law. And the Dolores Huerta Foundation and Cesar Chavez Foundation, that my curiosity started to pique about, now what is our history and what happened, and I don't understand, and why can't kids work in agriculture but they can't work at McDonald's? I don't understand. And 8 years ago, my friend Norma Vega, she gave me a book that changed my life, and the book was called Occupied America by Rodolfo Acuña. It is the Chicano Bible. And And it had such an impact on my life, and when I read it, I was blown away, and it had such an impact on me that I actually wrote a letter to the author, and I didn't think that he would respond, and he did. And I went to visit Dr. Acuna in his office, just to pick his brain about Chicano history, and I was telling him how much advocacy I do, and I just feel like I want to be more authentic with what I'm saying. I know what to say, and I know how to say it, but I don't know why I'm saying it. And after an hour or two of conversation in his office, he said, why don't you take my class, and why don't you start a program towards getting your master's in Chicano studies? And I said, well, first I thought he was crazy. Because I said, where am I going to find the time? And I was so nervous to go back to school and to start studying, and what if I wasn't smart enough, and what if I was too old? And Dr. Cunha said, it's never too late, and you're never too old to learn. And Dr. Cunha, he has been teaching me about the history I never knew, and he's taught me to be a student of history and not a victim of history. And I don't think there's any greater gift than the gift of an education. So thank you, Dr. Cunha. I also had the honor of knowing and working with Antonia Hernandez, who is the definition of philanthropist. And I can only hope that one day I have the impact that you have had on so many people's lives. She just makes one phone call and can raise $100 million. And I hope to be that person one day. I get inspiration from everywhere, from strangers, from people I've never even met, from the families at Padres, from the parents, from Eva's heroes. And I've never been a farm worker, but I choose to fight for them. And I don't have a child with cancer, but I choose to fight for them. And I think we all should fight for something or someone. Wherever our brothers and sisters are, whether bonded to us by blood or not, I think we have to know and recognize that they are struggling out there against poverty, hopelessness, abuse, a disability, and we need to embrace them and support them and be by their side and help them. And I have a very, very firm dedication and a strong sense of responsibility and commitment to changing the lives of those who deserve the opportunity for a better life. And I just want to thank MALDEF and all of you for giving me this award and for giving me courage to continue to work for change. For millions of others who can do the same. I have had the blessing of being on this wonderful show called Desperate Housewives. Mark Cherry's here, our creator's here. He actually came. He said, I think I'm the whitest person here. But, he created this amazing show that really had a domino effect in obviously my life and many other people's lives because of everything I've got to do, because of this light that was shown on this show. And the minute I realized I had this light, I knew I wanted to redirect it somewhere else. And so I just wanted to say thank you for supporting me, and thank you for letting me shine that light on others.